Hello everybody and welcome back to Louisiana Homestead. Today we're going to be making some oatmeal maple raisin cookies, so let's get right into it. We're going to be using 2 eggs, a cup of raisins, 3 cups of oatmeal uncooked, a cup and a half of plain flour. This is a half a cup of white sugar. This is 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. This is a 1/4 of a cup of maple syrup, a 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. I'm using sea salt, that's why it looks pink like that. And 2 teaspoons of baking soda, a stick of butter. The first 3 ingredients we're going to combine is our butter with our 2 types of sugar and our maple syrup. So we have our stick of butter in the bowl. We're going to add our 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. Those are packed. On top of that, we're going to add our half a cup of white granulated sugar. And on top of that, we're going to add our maple syrup. And we're going to combine these together with the help of our mixer. Next in, we're going to add our 2 eggs. That's some of my yard eggs from my hens. They're beautiful golden color. Before I add my next ingredients, I want to let you know that I put my oven preheating to 350, and I also prepared some cookie sheets with some parchment paper on them. Okay, the next thing we're going to add in is our flour. Like I said, that's some plain flour, and it is a cup and a half. To that, we're going to add our 2 teaspoons of baking soda, like that, and our 1/4 teaspoon of salt, right on top of there. I know a lot of people like to combine their dry ingredients together before they mix them all up, but this recipe did not say to do that. So I'm proceeding. This batter already tastes delicious, but we still have yet to add in our oatmeal and our raisins, which mine look pretty dry. Hopefully yours look better than that, but those will work. So let's get these oats in there. That's 3 cups of oats. Of course, they are not cooked. That would be awful if you tried to add in cooked oatmeal, is what I think anyway. Never seen a recipe call for that. Okay, I'm just adding a little bit at a time so I can get them mixed in there. I think I'm going to put a little bit of my raisins at this point. And mix that in. The batter is getting a little stiffer, a little harder to mix, but that's what cookie dough does. It is a challenge to mix cookie dough. I find it can get pretty hard. Okay, that's going to be the rest of the oatmeal, and this is going to be the rest of the raisins, which that was 3 cups of oatmeal and 1 cup of raisins. So let's get that mixed in, and then we can get them onto the pan. And they're going to be so good. Wait till you see the icing that's going to go on these. It's going to be delicious. I wanted an oatmeal cookie, but I didn't want just a plain oatmeal cookie. I wanted to do something different. They have so many different ways you can make oatmeal cookies. Okay, they're getting about where they need to be, this batter. It's stiff, but that's what cookie dough is supposed to be. I remember when we first made these in home ec, not this exact recipe of course, but just cookies in general. It was fun. I wish they still had home ec classes. All right, let's get these onto the pan. We're going to be using an ice cream scooper that holds about 2 tablespoons. And we're going to be putting our cookies about an inch apart. So let's see if we can manage that. This is the ice cream scooper I'm using. This is actually aluminum. I found this at a garage sale and it's so cool. I love it. Okay, let's get started. Enough of me running my mouth. Let's see how this works. Oh, very lovely. Okay. Beautiful. Works very good. That's going to be some big cookies, huh? Well, let's just get rolling with it, huh? Okay, it looks like they're ready to go into the oven, and it also looks like I'm going to have enough dough to make 2 more pans when these come out. So they're supposed to stay in the oven for about 12 minutes, but I'm going to check them because I don't want them to get too brown on the bottom. Okay, these just came out. It looks like 12 minutes was perfect for my oven. You can see they're just getting brown underneath and just a little brown on the edges, which is exactly what I wanted. They didn't run together too much. This is the only ones that ran together. I'm gonna let these cool over here on this rack before I ice them. And I'm gonna go on ahead and bake the rest of that dough, the cookies that I have left. While these are cooling on the rack, and my last batch is in there baking in the oven, I'm going to show you how to mix up a beautiful, glossy, delicious icing for the tops of these. We're going to be using a cup of confectioner sugar, 3 tablespoons of maple syrup. Let's go on ahead and get that right in there. To that, we're going to add just a pinch of salt, like that, maybe just a tad more. Okay, there we go. We're going to mix this up. We're going to add a little milk to it as we go. I have 3 tablespoons of milk measured out here. And I'm just going to use a teaspoon of it at a time to see how it mixes in. Now, the recipe says that it's going to call for all of it, but I don't know. I know with confectioner sugar, it melts very quickly, and I just don't see it taking all of that milk. See how it's, I don't think it's going to take much more at all, actually. That might do it. Let's see. So just put you a few tablespoons in a little container to mix, and just do a little bit at a time, because a little bit of liquid goes a very long ways in confectioner sugar. A very long ways. I see I had a clump in there. Now I want this to spread pretty easily. I'm not sure if this is quite liquidy enough. Looks pretty liquidy to me. That's probably going to be good. I'm going to put maybe a half a teaspoon more, because it looks like it could be a little more liquidy to drizzle, because I'm going to be drizzling this over the cookies. Okay, that's probably a little bit better. That ought to do good. Okay. See what it tastes like. It tastes good. It tastes fine. And I'm basically going to be using a whisk instead to drizzle this. It might be a little thick yet. Let's add a little more of this milk to it. Let's go with another teaspoon of it at least. It just seems a little thick for what I'm wanting to do with it. That's probably more like it. Okay. Get these over here. And we're just gonna start drizzling it over it. As you can see, I went overboard on one of them there. But it's supposed to just have a light coating of the frosting. It's not supposed to be a big, heavy coating of frosting. At least I don't care for it to be that way. So that's what I'm doing. I want my frosting a little thin. I don't want it just caked on there. I want to be able to taste the cookie more than the frosting. But this is working out pretty good, actually. I have a couple of clumps, but that's all right. The clump lovers will get those pieces. I think that's pretty nice. Okay, let's frost these. And I just keep stirring it and then let the biggest clumps come out of it and then go onto the cookie with it. So you might do that a couple of times to get them like you want them. I guess the main thing is to keep your whisk moving. Don't get too crazy with it. I bet the kids would like to do this part. Kids love making cookies, helping. And this is a very easy way to frost them. So I'm thinking kids, you can invite the kids into the kitchen with this one for sure. Okay, make some pretty little lace patterns on there. Looks like this one could use a little more. You can always go back and add a little more if you'd like. Okay, so that's all the frosting I'm gonna put on these two batches. I'm just waiting for my other two batches to come out and then I'll ice those and then we'll taste them together. See how good that parchment paper worked to catch that frosting? The excess of it makes the cleanup so much easier on the pans and on the cleanup of the frosting. I love parchment paper. Look how brown these came out on the bottom. They're perfectly browned. Oh, I love that. Cookies, a lot of times when you bake them, they look like they're still raw on top. But don't be fooled. Check the bottom. If they're brown, they're done. These are going to be so good. They sure look good. I love oatmeal cookies. And look all the cookies it made. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That's 16 in my first batch. And look how easy the cleanup is. These came out even a little more brown, but the bottoms of them are still fine. And look how easy that is to transfer to the cooling racks. Hold on, I'll have to do it again because you didn't see that one. Camera wasn't in focus. But look how nice and brown these came out. They're not too brown on the bottom. And look how easy this parchment paper makes it to transfer the cookies to the cooling rack. Look at that. Is that easy or what? And the pan's practically clean. Look at that. Okay, let's get our frosting onto these. Like I said, you see how that whisk, it holds the a good bit of the frosting on there and then it lets it go slowly. It's an awesome little way to frost your cookies. Okay, let's go. Let's get it on there, folks. This is the most fun part, is the frosting them. All right. It doesn't make much of a mess either with that parchment paper. Who would not love this? Uh-oh, I put a lot on that one, but somebody will be glad of it, I guarantee you. Let's get that right on there. I am so loving this. I have found a wonderful new way to frost cookies. So fast. So fast and so easy. Now I do have a little bit of frosting left over. Oh look, here's a whole cookie I didn't frost. Hello. Alright, that's pretty good. There's not much frosting left. There is a little bit. If somebody wants some extra, I'll save this for them and they can get it out of there. Look at that. Aren't those beautiful? Got them. Oh yeah, very nice. Okay, it's time for the taste test. Let's see. Mmm. Very nice. They're not too sweet. I can taste the raisins. It's a nice chewy oatmeal cookie. It's got just the right amount of sweetness. If you would want them to have a little bit stronger of a maple flavoring, you could add a teaspoon of maple flavoring to it. That would give it more of a maple flavoring. It is very chewy and very moist. Look at that. It's good. I'm gonna make them again, and I'll probably add a little vanilla to them or a little maple flavoring to them, but they're very good. I hope you'll try them. I hope you'll like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, bye.